All right, so buckle up, everyone, because today we are diving deep into a story full of family drama,
Oh, yeah,
divine encounters, and choices that really just echo throughout history.
absolutely.
We're going all the way back to the book of Genesis,
Okay.
chapter 28,
All right.
to follow the journey of Jacob,
It's a good one.
a guy who went from running from trouble to wrestling with angels. You ready for this?
Absolutely. This story's, it's more than just an ancient tale, though. I mean, it really makes you think about some questions that we all ask ourselves even today.
Okay.
What does it mean to honor your family's traditions?
Mm.
What happens when those traditions, well, they might clash with what you want.
Yeah.
And how do we make sense of those moments when the divine breaks into our everyday life?
Yeah, like how do you recognize that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just set the scene first.
Okay.
We've got Isaac the patriarch.
Yep.
Worried about his son Jacob marrying into the local Canaanite culture.
Yeah. Didn't want that.
So he sends Jacob off to find a wife from his own people.
Makes sense.
It seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, just a dad looking out for his son.
Yeah. Well, on the surface, yeah.
Okay.
But if we dig just a little deeper,
Okay.
it shows you how important lineage and keeping your culture pure was back then.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, for Isaac, it wasn't just about finding Jacob a nice girl.
Right.
It was about making sure his whole family's identity stayed intact.
Yeah, like their faith, their heritage, the whole thing.
The whole thing, yeah.
Thinking about it back then, your family wasn't just who you had Thanksgiving dinner with.
No.
It was your whole world.
Yes.
Like your social safety net, your connection to the past, your hope for the future.
You got it.
So it's like Isaac saying, Jacob, you're carrying the torch for our whole family here.
Yeah.
Don't mess this up.
High stakes.
But wait a minute, didn't Jacob's twin brother Esau
Oh, yeah.
already make this mistake? Didn't he marry local women? Exactly, and that's where things get a little tense between the brothers.
Okay.
Esau had already gone against his parents' wishes by marrying Canaanite women.
Yeah.
Now he sees Jacob being sent away to find a proper wife.
Right.
And what does he do? He tries to make amends by marrying Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael.
So he's like, see, Dad, I can follow the rules too.
Yeah, but it makes you wonder, is he really trying to make his father happy?
Yeah.
Or is he just trying to save face?
Especially since Jacob just obeyed right away.
Exactly.
And Esau only seems to care after seeing his brother get special treatment.
It's a good point, and it shows you the difference between these two brothers.
Yeah.
Jacob, despite his flaws, he always obeys, right?
Yeah.
Willing to follow his father's instructions, even if it means leaving everything he knows.
Yeah.
But Esau, on the other hand, he's more impulsive,
Yeah.
making choices based on what's happening right now, not the long-term consequences.
Yeah. Okay, so picture this. You're Jacob sent away from your home,
Away from everybody.
your family,
Yeah.
everyone you know.
It's wrong.
You're traveling to some far-off land, all alone,
alone.
with this huge responsibility to find a wife who will carry on your family's entire legacy.
Woof, talk about pressure.
Right.
That's exactly the kind of weight Jacob's carrying. It's a journey with a lot of uncertainty, a lot of potential danger.
Yeah.
And it's at this moment when he's stripped of everything familiar
Yeah.
that something extraordinary happens.
Okay, so here's where things get interesting.
Okay.
Jacob stops for the night and uses a stone for a pillow.
Ouch.
Yeah, talk about roughing it.
Yeah.
And that's when he has this wild dream.
Okay.
He sees a ladder stretching all the way up to heaven
Wow.
with angels going up and down.
What do you make of that?
What's that about?
This is the big one. This is Jacob's ladder.
Oh, yeah.
It's full of symbolism.
Okay.
The ladder shows a connection between heaven and earth, between us and God.
Oh, okay.
It's like even when we feel alone or lost,
Yeah.
there's a path to something bigger than us.
So it's not just about Jacob climbing up to heaven.
Right.
It's about God reaching down to him.
Right. Yeah.
Like God saying, hey, I'm here even in this messed up place.
Yep.
Even when you're feeling lost.
Exactly.
And that's where the angels come in, right?
Yep.
Not just decoration.
No.
They're messengers between God and humanity.
They are, and they're moving up and down that ladder,
Yeah.
showing how God and humanity are always talking to each other.
Oh, so it's not a one-way street.
Yeah.
It's a conversation back and forth.
Yeah.
But this isn't just small talk. This is huge.
Absolutely.
God speaks to Jacob and makes some big promises.
That's where the personal and historicals come together.
Okay.
God says, Jacob, you're part of something much bigger than yourself.
Wow.
You're carrying the torch for a lineage that will change the world.
So it's not just about finding a wife anymore.
Right.
It's about fulfilling destiny.
Yeah.
No wonder Jacob wakes up terrified and in awe.
I'd be freaked out.
Right. He even names the place Bethel, meaning house of God.
Yeah, naming something is powerful.
Yeah.
He's saying that this place is sacred, that God was really here.
Okay, yeah.
Imagine you were Jacob, you just had this crazy dream, this face-to-face with God.
Yeah.
What do? You name the place.
Yeah.
A name that shows just how powerful that experience was.
Right, so it becomes a sacred place.
Yes.
It's a marker of where God touched your life.
Yeah.
And then he does something even more interesting. He takes that stone he used as a pillow
Yeah.
and sets it up as a pillar and pours oil on it.
Really?
Yeah, it's like he's saying this isn't just any rock. This is a monument to what happened here.
Yeah, it's more than just marking the spot. It's like a symbol of his covenant with God.
So it's not a random rock anymore.
Nope.
It represents Jacob's commitment to God.
Exactly.
But what exactly is he committing to?
So Jacob makes a vow.
Uh,
It's like, if God protects me and gives me what I need and lets me go home safe,
Uh,
then I'll acknowledge Yahweh as my God and give back 1/10 of everything I get.
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Is he setting conditions? It sounds like he's saying, I'll hold up my end of the bargain if you hold up yours.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like blind faith.
No.
It sounds like a negotiation.
Good observation.
Right.
And that's what makes this story so relatable.
Okay.
I mean, haven't we all asked those questions?
Well, yeah.
Looking for signs before we commit to something.
For sure.
Jacob isn't just blindly obeying.
Yeah.
He's really thinking about this whole thing, trying to figure out where he fits in.
So even in this moment with God,
Yeah.
there's still doubt.
Mm.
There's questioning.
Yeah.
He needs some kind of confirmation.
It's like he's saying, okay, God, I trust you, but show me you're with me.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll pick up next time.
Oh,
This sets the stage for the rest of his crazy journey.
oh, I can't wait.
A journey with tons of twists and turns,
Yeah.
challenges and triumphs, and ultimately God's promises coming true in ways he couldn't imagine. Yeah. You know, it's really something how Jacob's story changes how we think about faith.
Yeah.
We tend to think of faith as just doing what you're told, no questions asked.
Right.
But Jacob shows us that it can also be about asking those tough questions,
Okay.
wrestling with your doubts, even talking it out with God.
So he's like, God, I'm in, but I need to know you've got my back.
Exactly. It makes faith a lot more relatable, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's not about pretending we don't have doubts. It's
Right.
about working through them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When haven't we all been there?
Oh, absolutely.
Questioning, doubting, wondering if we're on the right track?
Yes, for sure.
Jacob's story reminds us that those doubts don't mean you don't have faith.
Okay.
They're part of what makes our faith journeys our own.
Right.
So let's see where this journey takes Jacob next.
Yeah, let's see.
He ends up at his uncle Laban's place. Remember, the whole point of this trip was to find a wife.
Yeah.
Well, here's where things get really interesting. Jacob falls head over heels for Rachel,
Well,
Laban's younger daughter.
okay.
She's described as this beautiful, captivating woman.
Mm-hmm.
But Laban, he was a bit of a trickster himself.
Uh-oh.
He tricks Jacob into marrying Leah,
Really?
the older sister, first.
Wow.
Can you imagine showing up on your wedding day
Yeah.
and finding out you're marrying the wrong person?
I don't talk about family drama.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like Jacob can't get away from it.
It's never ending.
But we have to remember what it was like back then.
Right?
It was a patriarchal society.
Yeah,
Arranged marriages and family obligations were everything.
they were.
So while we might see this as a total betrayal, like something out of a soap opera,
Right.
back then it was just how things worked. It
Exactly.
was all about social contracts and family alliances.
Yeah.
Jacob didn't have a lot of choice.
It was a different time.
Right, so he ends up marrying both sisters,
He does.
which you said earlier, wasn't that unusual back then?
Yeah. It wasn't, but it definitely creates a lot of tension.
Oh, I bet.
Leah and Rachel are constantly competing for Jacob's attention.
Right.
And it even spills over to their kids.
Yeah, and then their kids become the ancestors of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Exactly. So this isn't just a family squabble.
Right.
It has huge historical and theological significance.
Wow.
What happens in Jacob's family is like a preview of the future of Israel.
So we're seeing the beginning of a nation
Yeah.
right here in the middle of all this family drama.
It's wild, right?
It's like those family trees we used to draw in school,
Uh-huh.
but with way higher stakes.
Absolutely. And it all goes back to that covenant God made with Jacob.
Right?
God promised him tons of descendants, a nation that would inherit the land.
Yeah.
And now, through all this craziness with his family,
Yeah.
we see that promise starting to come true.
So even with all the drama and the challenges,
Yeah.
God's plan is still moving forward.
It is.
It's like a tapestry being woven.
I like that.
With all these threads, love, betrayal, ambition, rivalry,
Yeah.
they're all coming together to create something really beautiful and complex.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks. And it reminds me that God often works through imperfect people,
He does.
through messy situations,
Yeah.
to get things done.
It's reassuring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even when our lives feel like a mess,
Yeah.
we can still be a part of something bigger.
It's not about being perfect.
No.
It's about trusting in God's guidance.
Trusting even when we don't understand.
Yeah, even when we don't see the whole picture.
Exactly. And Jacob's story is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
He makes mistakes. He has setbacks. He has doubts. He's not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But through it all, he keeps going.
Yeah.
Trusting that God is working things out even when he can't see it.
It reminds me of that dream he had at Bethel
Yeah.
with the ladder and God speaking to him.
Right.
It's like that moment set him on a path.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he stumbles along the way.
Yeah. He never forgets that connection with God.
Right.
And that's a powerful message for us today.
What do you mean?
We all have those Bethel moments.
What are those?
Those times when everything feels clear.
Okay.
Like you know what your purpose is, like you've got divine inspiration.
Okay.
But then life happens,
Yeah.
right? We face challenges, we get distracted.
Right.
Jacob's story reminds us that even when we stray from the path,
Yeah.
even when we doubt, even when we question,
Yeah.
there's something bigger than us guiding us,
Okay.
nudging us back in the right direction.
I love that it's like having a cosmic GPS
Yeah.
guiding us towards where we're supposed to be.
Exactly.
But like any GPS, we have to actually listen to the directions.
Right.
We have to trust the guidance.
And that takes faith.
Yeah.
Being willing to let go of control and embrace the unknown.
Okay.
And that's where Jacob's story is so inspiring.
Yeah.
Even with his doubts, his fears, his moments of weakness, he chooses to trust God's promises. He leans into that divine guidance. He doesn't always get it right,
Yeah.
but he keeps moving forward, trusting that God is working through him.
So what does all this mean for us?
That's a great question.
How can we use what we learn from Jacob's life in our own lives?
That's a great question, and it's something we're going to explore more in the final part of Jacob's story.
Okay.
Because his journey isn't just about ancient prophecies or starting a nation. It's about how powerful faith can be.
Yeah.
The fact that God's promises last.
Uh-huh.
And realizing that even in our most ordinary moments,
Yeah.
we can be part of something extraordinary.
Last time we were talking about Jacob building a family.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Things were far from peaceful
Uh-huh.
with his wives, Leah and Rachel.
Nope, not at all.
Their rivalry wasn't just about Jacob's love, though.
Right.
It had huge implications for the future of Israel.
Absolutely.
You mentioned their sons become the ancestors of the 12 tribes, right?
They do. And that's where the story takes on a whole new meaning.
Okay. We're seeing the beginning of a nation right here.
Yeah.
Through all these family dynamics.
Like each son represents a different part of what Israel will be.
Exactly.
Its strengths, its weaknesses, the struggles it will face, and its potential to do great things.
It's like a blueprint.
Yeah, for a nation's identity.
Right. We're watching a society form right in front of us.
Right in the middle of all this family drama.
It is pretty dramatic, and it brings us back to that moment at Bethel,
Okay.
where God made those promises to Jacob.
Yeah, a land of his own.
Countless descendants.
Yeah.
Blessings for the whole world through him.
And Jacob marked the spot with that pillar,
He did.
showing his commitment to God.
Right. That stone became a symbol.
Yeah, a powerful reminder of the agreement they made.
It makes you think about our own lives, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The commitments we make.
Maybe not with a pillar,
Yeah.
but with a promise,
Uh-huh.
a vow, a decision to follow a certain path.
And just like with Jacob.
Those commitments aren't always easy to keep.
Yeah. Life throws us curveballs.
Oh, it does.
We face challenges, make mistakes, we doubt.
It's all part of it.
But just like Jacob's story unfolds, our lives do too.
Through all the ups and downs,
The good times and the bad
the
times.
victories and the setbacks.
Right. It's like we're all on this journey
Yeah.
traveling through a world that's both familiar and unpredictable.
It is, and sometimes we need those reminders.
Yeah.
Those things that ground us.
Like that pillar.
Yeah, like a touchstone.
Okay, to remind us of where we're going and what we've promised.
Exactly.
And Jacob's story shows us what it really means to live with faith.
It does.
To deal with complicated relationships.
Yeah.
And to find meaning and purpose in all the messiness of life.
Right, it's a reminder that even when we're lost or unsure,
Yeah.
there's something bigger than us, guiding us, shaping our lives.
Even if we don't always understand it.
Even then.
So what does all this mean for us today?
It makes us think about our own promises, the ones we make to ourselves and to others.
Right. Are we keeping them?
Even when it's hard.
Even when we're struggling?
Yeah, are we willing to trust in something bigger than us?
Even when we don't have all the answers?
Exactly. It also makes me think about those Bethel moments.
Those times when everything feels clear.
Yeah, those moments of clarity, of purpose.
How do we hold on to those feelings when things get tough?
It's a good question.
How do we stay connected to something bigger than ourselves?
Those are questions we all have to figure out on our own.
Yeah.
But Jacob's story gives us some clues.
Okay.
It reminds us that even with all the uncertainty and imperfections, we're part of something much bigger than ourselves.
We're all part of this big story.
The story of faith, of family, and of finding our purpose.
And maybe, just maybe, like Jacob, we'll discover that even something ordinary
Yeah.
can become something sacred.
Like that stone.
Yeah, a reminder of the power of commitment
Wait.
and the journey that happens when we trust in something beyond ourselves.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been great exploring this incredible story with you.